Hey you guys, Desmond here, and welcome back to the channel. Like always, I am joined by LACRESHA. And today we are discussing RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13, Episode 12, Nice Girls Roast. Now, before we get into the episode, I have to remind y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. We are so close to 50 subscribers. Just come on. You can always change your mind later. It's just like, we would really appreciate it. We really would. So, a lot happened today, but let me get your overall thoughts on tonight's episode.
Oh, it was a close one.
I don't want to say it was a close one to me because I already knew. Because there was no way Rue was gonna. No way. But you know, the thing is, the top six can go either way. They can gag us, or they could do, what they're supposed to do. And I'm like, there was a little part of me that thought, are they going to gag us?
Right.
Are they going to goop us? Because I'll riot.
Yes.
I will riot.
I was like, no, this cannot be the face plant of the season.
I really think Gottmik is going to be the face plant, and I really think it's going to happen next week.
Yeah.
Now, let's start off the episode when we said goodbye to Tina Burner. And Utica was very confusing after the lip sync. At first, she was very emotional. She was like, I thought I was going home. I thought Tina deserved to stay, but I'm going to keep fighting. And then she's like, oh, but did you like it? I feel so great when I lip sync. I'm like, whoa, honey.
That complete 360 is
like
whoa, wait a minute.
What's that monster name? Mr. Jackals and Mr. Hyde. What is it?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Very
yes. Or that. Some Bruce Banner shit.
Like it was just
for all of our Marvel fans.
Whoop, whoop. It was very that.
Yes.
Very that.
Yes.
And then Candy was upset with the result of the lip sync, which I rewatched the lip sync. I do think Utica won that lip sync, but I do believe Utica should have went home. If I was Rue, I still would have said, Tina, Shantae, you stay. Because honestly, Tina shouldn't have been in the bottom too. But that's another conversation. We still on the couch. We congratulate Rose and Simone on their double win. And we move on to the next morning. So we come in. And the mini challenges, they have to promote a new cosmetic line called Narvina. It's through Anastasia. Am I saying it right? Anastasia?
It's not a new product line. It's just a new palette.
Right? Yeah, new palette from
Anastasia Beverly Hills.
I want to say Anastasia because of Canada's Drag Race.
Yeah,
Anastasia Cosmetics. And the way they did it was one queen was the face, one queen was the arms. So we got the team of Rose and Candy, Simone and Olivia, Gottmik and Utica. What did you think of this mini challenge?
It was cute.
It was hilarious.
It was funny.
None of them did bad.
No, not really.
Not a person did bad. It was hilarious.
Yeah, because Simone is naturally charismatic, and Rose has the YouTube personality that comes along with it.
I got something about Simone's personality, but we'll discuss that during the actual challenge. But I do agree with you. Rose does give off that very, hey, you guys.
Hey, guys. How are you? Welcome to our channel. My name is Samantha.
Like, I love it.
Oh,
but honestly, I thought Gottmik and Utica killed it.
I did too. Gorge.
That was hilarious.
Here's the thing, though, because I was a little taken aback by it just for the pure and simple fact that, Gottmik and Gigi Gorgeous are best flipping friends. So I'm like, you should know how this works.
And she delivered. Like, she did not drop the ball. Like, they all did a great job. And I would have picked Gottmik and Utica to win. Who would have you chosen?
Same. Especially because Utica's arms were just like...
It was hilarious. But Rose and Candy did win the mini challenge. they did do a good job. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, they didn't deserve it.
No.
But they won a $2,500 gift certificate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, $2,500 worth of makeup from
Yes.
Anastasia
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills, them. Baby,
Yes,
they've been
because that used to be part of the grand prize.
It still is. Is it not? I think it's a sickening supply of Anastasia Beverly Hills. It used to be a year supply, but then about season, I want to say 8 or 9, it turned into a sickening supply.
Right. Because I thought it used to be like a lifetime supply, then it turned into a year supply.
It was a lifetime supply of another one when Tyra won season 2. It was a lifetime supply of something.
Yeah. NYX Cosmetics.
Yes, NYX Cosmetics, and then it turned into Anastasia Beverly Hills.
Well, because they went from drugstore to high end. Mm-hmm. So that might be why the quantities changed.
Yeah, I want to say Raja. I think Raja was the last one to get a lifetime supply of makeup. And I remember Raja saying she, being a drag queen, a lifetime supply is way more than what an average person uses. So like she said, she flew through that. But Candy and Rose won, and as a bonus to their wins, they got to pick the order for the Maxi Challenge, which was the Nice Girls Roast, where they had to roast our Miss Congenialities, Nina West, Heidi in Closet, and Valentina. So, the order that they placed the queens in was Candy, Simone, Utica Queen, Got Mick, Olivia Lux, and Rose.
Yes.
And I thought it was very interesting that, because Candy and Rose got the pick, and they gave themselves the harder positions.
Right.
And, I got to give them a round of applause because that wouldn't have been me.
No.
Not at all. I would have been right there in the middle.
Yep. I think because they were like, yeah, the position most people vie for are the beginning and the end. And I'm like, no, most people don't want to be in the beginning of the end.
The beginning and the end. I know I wouldn't.
No, most people want to be right in the middle. If I had
to choose, I would be like Candy. If I had to choose, I want to go first.
Right. So I want to set the tone.
Everybody else got to compare it to me.
Right. So you can either do better than me or worse than me.
That's what. All right. So before we get into the main challenge, we had one small little mirror moment. And that a lot of the queens use their comedy as a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And once again, a conversation that needed to happen on Drag Race. They didn't get too emotional about it. But, I do that. Like, instead of getting all sappy, I'll crack a joke.
Right.
Laugh. I got to laugh to keep from crying.
Pretty much.
I don't like a lot of Tyler Perry songs in his plays, but that one from, I want to say, What's Done in the Dark, Laugh to Keep from Crying, is one of my favorite songs he's ever written. And it's so true. You got to laugh. You got to find the joy in things or you're going to be miserable.
My favorite.
What they were discussing.
Yeah, my favorite was you gotta laugh and grin and hand your man a pencil.
You gotta cook and clean and then hand your man a pen. No, a smiling grin, then hand my man a pen so he can.
Yeah. Write that check.
Oh, let me get my pen. Write that check, honey. That is one of my favorite songs too. And then every song from Class Reunion, song from Class
Classics.
Reunion, a bop.
Yes.
Bop. Bop. Like he needs to put those on Spotify, like right now. Tyler, I know you're watching.
Family Reunion had some pretty decent songs.
Oh, they did too. But can we get Class Reunion? I'll be happy with just Class Reunion. I want the songs. For every tear you cry, there's a reason why. Come on. My next man will be God's mine. Come on.
And anything Cheryl Pepsi Riley sang.
That's the one song in Class Reunion I don't like. But anyway, let's get back on RuPaul's Drag Race.
That was her and I'm telling you moment.
Okay. So let's talk about RuPaul's look this week.
Oh my God, wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute.
As she came out, all I heard was body, yada, 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 yada.
No, I had to pick my jaw up off the floor.
Oh, this is one of my favorite Ru looks ever.
Yes, it was. Oh my God,
It was baby, and I think she had some different type of pad. Like she had a different silhouette this week. It was right. The
Yes,
legs were thick.
y'all.
And like I said, all I heard was body, yada, 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 yada.
She says, "You know what? I'm gonna gag you this season. I'm gonna give you a full body look because you never." When's the last time we've seen Ru in a bodysuit?
I can't tell you the last. I don't think she's ever been in a leotard like that.
No, she might have in the Ruby Rose.
Yeah, and the Ruby Red,
as
I
the
think
Ruby,
maybe.
yeah,
Like
one,
Race?
but
I don't
never.
think so.
I don't think we.
Correct us in the comments if we're wrong.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
The hair was right, the makeup was right,
the body was right.
The body was right, the outfit was right, the shoes were right. It was all just right.
Yes, and then speaking of body, Candy.
Hold on. Before we get into that, there's one thing that really upsetted me. There wasn't a runway this week.
No.
It was what they wore in the comedy challenge.
Right.
Which I think this is the I don't think it's the first time they've done this, but they don't do this often to where there's not a actual runway theme.
Mm-hmm. Do you think maybe they used that runway somewhere else? That's the reason why they just didn't have one?
No, honestly, I don't know why they wouldn't have done a runway, especially for a comedy challenge, unless timing was an issue. Because now that it's been unionized, they have to have everything done within 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe getting the queens ready, getting RuPaul ready, getting the guest queens to come in, all that stuff, it just took too much time, and there wasn't going to be enough time for them to change and get back to the runway.
Hell, they could have took all the time it took Valentina to get ready.
Stop that right
now. Look, at least my joke landed.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about their looks and their comedy set. So let's start off with Miss Candy. Just like Candy.
Body. Coke can.
I really enjoyed this look.
Coke
I really
bottle.
did.
Yes. Oh my God. That's the best I've ever seen.
Michelle made a comment about the hair, but I like the hair.
Yeah. It looked natural.
Yeah. Like I was okay with it. Like, don't get me wrong. I love big hair, but like, I don't think that would have looked as well as Michelle was thinking.
Right. But I think, the type of drag queen that Candy and Dahlia are, they're more, natural looking type. So I liked it on her.
I did too. Now let's talk about that comedy set, ma'am.
I was in the car watching it, and I just kept.
I was chuckled. I was gooped. I was gagged. I was living.
Yes.
I'm like, come on, Miss Candy. You know I don't like you, but come on, come through. The jokes landed. The timing was right. Like she really started off the show the proper way, and you love to see it. You really
do. Especially for somebody who doesn't have a win. Period.
Yeah, because usually at this point in the competition, if you don't have a win, there's a good chance you're not going to get a win.
Like
I've noticed these past 2 seasons. Like Crystal Method was a prime example. She didn't get her win until it was top 6. Just like Candy didn't get her win until it was top 6.
So now it's just her competition to just.
Yeah. But she still, to me, I don't want to say she has a disadvantage, but compared to the other queens, she still had to lip sync twice with only 1 challenge win.
Right.
But hey, she did an amazing job tonight. So let's go to Simone. Let's talk about the look first. Oh, she was gorgeous.
Yes.
Gold complements her skin so well.
And then the gold hair.
Oh, it was butter.
Yes.
It was butter.
That hair color apparently does not bode well with my skin tone. It kind of washes me out, but it looked gorgeous on her.
It was amazing. I loved every piece of that outfit. She looked good.
Yes. Almost reminded me of Bimini Boom Boulash.
But we ran into a problem with that comedy set.
Right.
Girl.
She's like me. She got in her head and thought too much.
Yeah, she overthinked it. She had a few funny moments. Like it was just very.
It wasn't quick.
And that's what the judges said. You needed to shorten them jokes, and maybe it would have been more
hilarious.
Successful.
Right. It's like she just needed to bring her personality to it, and I think she tried too hard to be somebody else.
I agree. Let's move on to Utica Queen. Let's talk about her look first. It was so cute. I love the balls. I loved it. Was just.
I want to see what was underneath that big old.
Me too. I felt like there was something
trench
under
coat,
and like I felt like later during the situation, I thought she was going to take it off.
Right.
But she didn't. Should have. I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, let's talk about that comedy.
That extremely uncomfortable set.
I was uncomfortable. Now don't get me wrong. I laughed at the Simone and Pumbaa joke. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was cute.
But everything
that was the only one that landed.
The only one. And then it didn't get funny again until Lonnie clapped back.
Right. And that's a dang shame.
And hold on. The shade she threw at RuPaul, because I'm not sure if you know this, but rumor has it, after RuPaul walks the runway, her bottom half, she changes into sweats and slides. So when Utica said stand up so we can see the full outfit, that's why RuPaul responded with flipping her off. When she
whatever motion she gave.
When she said RuPaul stand up, I was like, oh, she going for it. Oh, because like I said, the rumor has it she switches into sweatpants and slides. So it's like, ooh, you shady. Ooh, you shady. I gasped at that. I'm like, oh,
she tried it.
You're spilling the tea. Okay. Okay. And then I want to know what the gesture was RuPaul did that they blurred out. I'm hoping in the uncensored version that we see what the gesture was. And if it does, I'll screen grab it and send it to you. All right, so let's move to Got Meg. Let's talk about that look. She was gorge.
Yes.
Very gorge.
Classic
Emerald is my birthstone. So my birthstone. And it looks so good on her.
What?
Emerald.
Oh.
Is my birthstone.
Yes.
I loved it. It was amazing. It was amazing. She looked good. She doesn't do the breast, and I get not all women have breasts, but I love the old school drag, and the old school drag is the tits and the ass, and I'm trying to break that slowly, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, she had boobs. That would have just
took it over.
That would just put the cherry on top for me.
Right.
But she still looked amazing. I think her look was my favorite of the week.
But I'm pretty sure the last thing she wanted to do was have more tits after cutting them off.
And I get that. I really do. And like we said, not all women have breasts, and I get it. But it's just trying to tell my mind that's already conditioned to how drag is to elevate it to where drag is now.
Right. Because Simone's never worn a breastplate either.
And I honestly feel like if Simone just,
like the closest she came was her Foxy look last week.
Yeah, like if she
would every Simone, once
she would just give us a little bit more body. Just a little bit more body. Like I'm tired. Like I said, I'm old school drag. I love the old school drag. I love the tits and ass. Just switch it up like one time. Like I get it, that's not your aesthetic. And I really don't particularly care how Jenny Lemon was on UK series 2. But although she didn't do it well, she took the risk. She did something different. And you can't fault her for that. And I think that's what saved her from being in the bottom that week. But anyway, back to America, and let's talk about her amazing set. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
It was.
I didn't expect that from her.
No.
I did not. Like during the rehearsals when she came through and she started, she was kind of, but when she started spitting out the jokes, I'm like,
Oh,
Wait a minute. I was expecting Mick to bomb. I'm not gonna lie to you.
right.
I was expecting God Mick to straight bomb this.
Right.
But she didn't. She did such an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to Olivia. Let's talk about that look.
I'm not
Like,
gonna
it wasn't
lie.
bad.
I love Olivia, but I'm kind of
You're over it.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Same way I am with another queen.
Mhm.
I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, it's just I don't want to say I'm over it, but like, girl, you're really trying to overproduce yourself.
Yes.
And I don't like that. You know, they have story producers there for a reason. Let them do it. And I think that's why UK is so successful, because the queens aren't coming in caring about the edit. They're coming in and having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Come in and have a good time. Throw some shade. Have some argument.
And I think
they're so scared to come off as the villain, they're not enjoying it, in my opinion.
Right. And I think that might be the problem, or the reason why BBC's like, no, you can't win money. And because it seems like when there's no money on the table, they're more just like, hey, I'm here for a good time.
And like I've always said, because you know, they don't know this, but they're finna know now. I've been trying to get on reality TV for about a year now. And if I ever get casted, you know, fingers crossed, I'm coming in having a good time.
Right.
I'm having a good time. I know me, and I know as long as I'm enjoying myself, I know I'm not going to come off as a bitch.
Right.
But hey, let's talk about that comedy set. It was okay.
Yeah. Okay, so long story short, I went to community college. I had this communications instructor. Mm-hmm. She turned out to be a real bitch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had one of her moments. It was like a bonk. And anybody who went to EVC knows who I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't particularly care for extemporaneous things where you're holding a card.
Yeah, and that's what I wrote down. She kept reading her card. Like, you know, everybody else used it as a guideline. She was literally and the only funny joke she had was that RuPaul had to sign the Declaration of Independence as parent/guardian.
Right.
I'm sorry. That was funny. Woo. Woo. That took me. Now, I'm sorry to go out of order, but I forgot to say something when Simone was up there.
Right.
This is the thing I'm getting with Simone. Simone is always Simone. Mm-hmm. Simone is never nothing else. Mm-hmm. Snatch Game, that was Simone. That wasn't Harriet Tubman. I'm sorry. She was being Simone. In all these challenges, she's being Simone. And I think at this point, we're tired of seeing just Simone. Like, I know I am. Like, don't get me wrong, she's hilarious, but can you give us a different side of Simone?
Right.
Like, all we're seeing is...
We might get that next week.
I'm hoping so. But if she does,
I hope she does
this character the way she did the other character in the first acting challenge they did, like, come on, Simone, give me something else. Like, we get it, the funny wordplay, the great neck rolls. Like, we love that, but can we get something different? You're giving the Simone over and over again. I really think that's why she bombed this week. Because she was trying to give Simone instead of trying to be funny.
Right. I think she's trying to give too much character and not enough of herself.
Yeah.
The real Simone.
Yeah. So let's move on to the final queen. Rose. Let's talk about that look. I love the look. The jacket was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like when RuPaul was talking about Sheila E. and all these other folks, I'm like, I get it. But at the same time, like, I bet that bodysuit was sickening under there.
Right.
Because just from the waist down, I'm like, oh, that's a good bodysuit. Like, I would just take it off. I want to see. Kind of like with Utica. Take it off. Like, what's under there?
Right.
What's under there?
Stop
The hair
hiding
was
it.
right, the makeup was right. And I gotta give it to Rose. She's really upping her runways.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if, she made, how they have to plan the runways. And they don't know what order they're gonna get. So I bet she was mad when, each runway, she's like, oh, this is another ruffle look. Oh, this is another ruffle look. Oh, this is another ruffle look. Can we get a different category that's not gonna show all these ruffles that I brought? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Maybe she shouldn't have brought so many ruffles.
Thank you. But that's another conversation.
Right.
So let's talk about her comedy
set.
Amazing.
Yes.
Hilarious.
Funny.
Good way to close the show. But yes. I do agree with Lonnie Love. It was funnier in the rehearsal.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. RuPaul wouldn't have known that because RuPaul wasn't there for the rehearsal unless Lonnie would have brought that up.
Right.
So the tops this week was Candy Muse, Gottmik, and Rose. The bottoms this week were Simone, Utica, and Olivia. Do you agree with the tops and bottoms this week?
Yes.
I do too, for the first time in like weeks. I agree with the tops and bottoms.
Right.
Now, here's where I disagree. Your winner this week is Candy.
I think Rose should have won.
I thought Gottmik should have won.
That too.
Like, don't get me wrong, Candy did great, and like, I'm not upset she won because she did great. But I think we expected Candy to do great in this because right. She's that very comedy, in your face, loudmouth, roast type of queen. Gottmik isn't. That was a surprise. And I think I would have gave it to Mick. I really would have. But I understand they want to make Candy look like a threat in the competition, so give her the win. Cute.
Yep, justify her being.
But if this was Jasmine's Drag Race, Gottmik would have got the win this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's RuPaul's, so.
not unfortunately.
Well, fortunately, but unfortunately for you.
So our bottom two this week was Simone and Utica Queen. Do you agree with this bottom two?
No.
I don't either.
It should have been Olivia and Utica.
I agree.
For the first time.
I agree.
Write this down, folks.
I think Olivia should have been in the bottom two this week.
Yes, because I'm not even gonna lie. Those are the two queens that I'm just over right now.
And I hate to be over them, but I am. Honestly, I'm over this season. Like, after having such an amazing and I hate keep bringing up UK, but season 2 of UK was so good. Even with that ending, I don't agree with.
Right.
It was still an amazing season. And now we're left with this.
Yes, I'm like, oh my God, what's this gonna be?
Like, every little thing's probably gonna annoy me from here on out, but I'm still gonna watch because I love the show.
Yes.
And it was still a good episode overall. It's just Olivia and Utica, I'm just over them. So they should have lip sync.
Because anyway, I really think that they were battling it out for who's going to be Miss Congeniality. It's going to be me. No, it's going to be me. No, it's going to be me. I'm nice. I'm going to be nice.
Watch it be neither one of them because the queens have to vote. And watch them vote Tamisha, and then they're both going to be looking dumb. Because Tamisha, come on, it's coming for you.
Right.
I'm gonna do it.
Yes, mama.
I love her. But anyway, Simone and Utica lip sync to No Tears Left to Cry by Ariana Grande.
I loved it. What did you think
of the lip sync?
I wanted to see what Utica was gonna do. Not because I was like a fan. I just was like,
when the song started playing, I'm like, okay, I'm interested to see how Utica's gonna take the song. And I'm glad she didn't do a character. I'm glad she lip synced it as just her
goofy self.
Yeah, her goofy self. Like, she didn't go into no character. She didn't try to do nothing weird. She just lip synced it. And I love the way she lip syncs. She reminds me of the way Jujubee lip syncs. She lip syncs with her whole mouth. Jujubee
gives great mouths.
Gives good mouth. And that's what Jujubee does too. And I enjoy watching Utica lip syncs. But I think Simone knew that this was it for her. And Simone, she did okay.
She did all right.
She did the same thing that she did in the Pleasure Principle lip sync and the Boss lip sync.
Like,
I get it. The song She really couldn't do much with a song like No Tears Left to Cry, but I felt like she gave us what we've already seen in a lip sync from her before.
Right. Because there are certain parts in that song where you could have like hyped a little bit more.
I will say at the end when Utica dropped down and was really feeling that moment, I was feeling her just right there. I was like, okay, Utica, you're not saying, but look at you. Look at you.
Yeah, I know. In my head, all I could say was, okay, come on, get rid of Utica now.
And I don't like that. I don't like that little pause when RuPaul said, all right, I made my decision. And then it paused for like 5 seconds. I'm like,
if you say Utica one more again and get rid of Simone, I'm boycotting.
After having 4 wins, granted, this is her second time in the bottom, but after having 4 wins, but Simone stayed in the competition. She was told to Shantae, you stay, and Utica had to sashay away.
Her exit, bro.
I liked her exit. Oh. If you never told if you've ever been told that you can't, just know Utica can.
Well, no, not that part. I liked that part. It was just like at the end when she was
saying I love you and all this other stuff.
She was like, look, I'm just so happy that I had to lip sync again.
Now she didn't say them exact words. She just said she was happy to be here and she had a good time and that she loves everybody, and then flipped off RuPaul one more time.
Right.
Oh, the GIF is already all over Twitter of RuPaul flipping people off. I'm like, oh, they just don't know. They got a viral meme right here now.
Right. Right up there with Candy.
So now I want to discuss one thing about next week's episode. Simone looks like she's really going through it in the episode.
Yes, she does.
And that really makes me worried. Yes. The teary moment she was having in her confessional, honestly, it kind of looked like a breakdown. And I know sometimes the preview can be misleading, but for her to be in tears like that, I'm hoping that's more of a mirror moment than her actually, breaking down because of a challenge.
Because I'm sitting here like, oh God.
I would hate for her to miss out on the top 4.
Right.
Because she couldn't take the pressure got too much for her at the end of it.
Yeah, she had a Widow Von Du moment.
I would hate that. So, like we said, sometimes the preview mislead us. So hopefully it's misleading us.
Yes.
Hopefully,
please be playing.
So, is there anything else you want to mention about tonight's episode?
RuPaul's dress was phenomenal.
Yes.
Michelle Visage's hair was. I actually kind of liked the hairstyle.
I did like her hair. Yes.
I think Lonnie Love recycled an outfit.
She might have. I'm not sure.
And
honestly, this might be. I don't think this will be controversial because I see it on Twitter a lot. I think her and Nicole Byer should replace Ross and Carson. I do. Like having them be there throughout the competition has been amazing. Like,
yeah.
And because of the pandemic, they couldn't have all the special guest judges that they normally do. But one thing I like is that they get to see the queens evolve as well as the regular judges. And I think it's time for a switch up at the judges panel. Because every few seasons we got one. Like the first one was season 3 when Michelle came. And then season 7 when Ross and Carson came. Now we're clocking on season 14. I think it's time for another change. And it might be Nicole and Lonnie. I know Lonnie has the reel, and I understand, but they shoot that in LA. So like, it's not like she's that far, things are slowly starting to open back up. So it could possibly work.
Right.
Or get T.S. Madison in there because she was a great guest judge for those 2 weeks she was there. 3.
Yeah. However many.
And I kind of like having the same guest judges because, like I said earlier, they get to see the evolve. They get
the evolution
as well. They get to give some critiques. They could be an actual judge because, like, oh, when I saw you a few weeks ago, you were this. Look at you now.
Right. So
yeah, I like that. But is there anything else you want to conversate on before we wrap things up here?
Nope.
All right. So, LaCresha, where can they find you on the media of all the socials?
I am at Cresha McGill on all social media.
And you can find me in the club, pocket full of bub, my mom. I'm just playing. You can find me on all social media platforms at Simply Desmond. That's SimplyDesmond. Thank you for spending a piece of your day with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.